G'day guys, welcome back to Mango Invest. In this video I'm going to show you all the dividends SPHD pay me every single month. They are a monthly paying dividend company, which is generally what I prefer, but we'll get straight into it. So they're paying $43.57 at the moment. This is how they've been tracking in the last sort of 3 years. This is the massive drop here you saw when the pandemic was sort of hitting, and that's where I generally bought most of my shares in there. It's got just over a 4% dividend yield, and I've currently got 203 shares within the company at an average price of $32.50. So if you look down here and you track where the $32 mark is, that's where I've generally brought in there, which is October 2020. But the total equity so far is just under $9,000. So I'm in positive by just over $2,000, which is a total of 34%. But yeah, that's just a quick overall sort of view on where it sits within my portfolio. So I'll head over to Seeking Alpha, and I just wanted to show you the dividend history. So they're a fairly consistent sort of dividend ETF. But back 2018, they were paying 14 cents per share, and you fast forward that to 2023, and they're paying still 14 cents per share. So they're not overly growing all that fast, but they're just remaining consistent, which is really good. And this is how you can track every single month of the dividend there. So from the start of 2022, 13 cents, just under 14, and then all the way to the 2023, you're sitting at the 14 cents mark, and that they'll pay every single month there. But if you click over to the dividend growth within Seeking Alpha, let's just say from 2014, they upped their dividend by just under 2%. The next year, 9%. The next year, 29%. And then they've gone back by negative 11% of their dividend. So that's where they've stopped their dividend growth. But then again, the following year, 25%, 6%, 2%, and then negative 14% there. But then in 2022, they've upped it by just under 9%. So it's not too bad. Obviously, with that 2021 period going negative 14%, obviously because of the pandemic, so that's understandable there. Right, just breaking down their holdings. So this is a quick little pie graph of all the sectors that they sort of invest in. The biggest one being real estate and utilities. But the top 10 holdings here, everyone knows Altria Group and AT&T. AT&T, I've got a very small portion within my portfolio anyway, but I suppose these are all companies I don't really know. Simon Property Group, they're a real estate investment trust. I sold them off like last year, just because the fundamentals of the company weren't as good as some other real estate investment trusts that I invest in. And the only one I know down here is Walgreens Boots Alliance, which I'm pretty sure they're a consuming sort of company like Costco or like a massive supermarket. But yeah, so moving over to track your dividends, this is where you can input all your data from Stake or whatever other brokerage account that you're using. But SPHD, so I've inputted the 203 shares. This is the current share price, $43.57. But my average price that I've got within the company that I bought at was $32.51. The dividend yield so far, or with the company, is just over 4%. However, the yield on cost is slightly higher. So just remember how when the company goes down in value, the dividend increases. So let's just say, for example, if you bought a company at a lower price and you've locked in, just over a 5% dividend yield, although that company then rises, that dividend yield goes down, being now that 4%. My yield on cost, because I've locked that dividend yield at a lower price, I keep that high dividend, if that makes sense. But moving over to the right, so the annual income, so $355 every single year. So when you break it down, that because they pay monthly, but every quarter you're looking at just under $100 or whatever. But we'll see that within the next sort of slide here. So this is all the dividends every single month, and this is when I very first invested. So the 1st of April of 2020. So I initially bought 68 shares, and that was at a price of 16 cents. which gave me just under $11 US. I'm not going to show you every single month that I earned because there's obviously a lot of months between 2020 and now. So I'll just quickly, scroll up to, let's start at it, the 1st of April of 2021. So I bought a little bit more shares. So we're now sitting at 195 shares, and just remember that price per share or cents per share is 14, and that'll remain fairly consistent throughout. And that was $27.55. The next month they paid me $24, and then just above from that, $22. So the reason why the price is going down, so I've still held the same amount of shares, although because of that slight sort of inconsistency on that month, instead of paying me 14 cents per share, they've paid me 11. All right. But moving over to the next month, going from 11 cents per share to 12, we're now up to $23. Next month, $22, back down to 11 cents per share. Right, moving up to the 1st of September 2021, right, 13 cents per share and just under 25 bucks. Right, the next month, just under $25 again. Right, November 2021, $25. Right, $25 again. Let's fast forward, right, all the way up to the 1st of April 2022. Okay, so now paying $28. Again, that the shares have remained the same, although the cents has gone up a couple of cents. So we're now sitting at 15 cents per share. So therefore I got just under $29 there. The next month, 14 cents per share now, $27. And $27 again in June. For July, $27. July again, because I think when they pay me that money, they either paid it at the very end of the month, and then for this next one, they've paid me at the start of the month, if that makes sense. So that's why they're fairly close together. August, 27 bucks. September, 27 again. Yep, $27 again for October. For November, $27.86. December, $29. As you can see there, I've just bought a slot more shares. So I've gone from 195 shares to 203. So maintaining that 14 cents per share. They've just paid me under 30 bucks. All right, 30th of January, 29 bucks. And now we're just waiting out for the February payment, which will be slot towards the end of the month. So that'll be a separate video coming out for all the dividends that I've earned in February of 2023. But yeah, so as you can see, I haven't really added too many shares over the 2 years that I've held the company. It actually surprised me of how long. When I was in process of making the video, I was going back down to track my very first dividend, and it was just basically at the start of 2020. So I've been investing in this company for 2 full years, starting of the 3rd year now in 2023. And it's just good to see that the cents per share being 14 cents has remained fairly consistent. But we'll head back to the last 3 year period, like it's still sitting fairly high in comparison to the last 3 years. So I don't see myself buying in until it sort of drops to that maybe $35, $30 per share. That's probably when I'll use some of the cash on hand that I've got now that's slowly growing, and I'll buy more shares, but we'll leave that for now. But yeah, so that's to finish off, $29 for that last month of January there. All right, so now we're going to move over to a dividend spreadsheet that I've been working on for the last couple of years. And whatever month that you've received a dividend, you just input that number onto the monthly dividend amount here, and then automatically it'll formalize your average monthly income and your average yearly income. So with all this data that we've inputted here, we can scroll down and look at a couple of graphs here. So this is the average income per month, or just the actual income per month. As you can see, it's very sort of inconsistent, but the very first dividend I received in 2019 was just under 50 bucks. And then every month from there, you just input all the dividends there and it comes out in a nice little graph for you. But The reason why every 6 months is slightly higher is because BHP, which is a fairly large holding in my portfolio, pay only twice a year, so every 6 months. So if we look at the September of 2029 being $408, let's move to the next September. All right, is now $683. All right, now we go from 683 to 1,350. Right, to the September of 2022 being $1,500. And just remember, this is all US currency, so that's probably just over $2,000. Cool. And then January, so I just made a previous video to this one being $754 made in January. So that's all the monthly income data there. Let's scroll down to how that looks like on a yearly basis when you average out the income every single year. So in August of 2019, when I started investing, every year I was forecasted to get $1,800. Now shift that, so August of 2021, right, the average amount of income per year was $5,000 or $5,500, and now all the way to February of this year, okay, the average annualized income is sitting at $10,245. Again, USD, so we're now looking at $16,000 to $17,000 Australian. So that's the average yearly income, and you can see that nice linear sort of progression there, which is always motivating to see. Now, if you scroll down and look at the average monthly income, see it looks very, very similar to the yearly tracker there, but this is just sort of the same sort of graph, but just lesser numbers because it's monthly. But again, so starting in 2019, the average monthly income looked at $153. Let's fast forward to halfway through this tracker here. In August of 2021, the monthly income was $465. But now we'll fast forward to February of this year, the average monthly income being $853. So break that down to Australian currency, we're probably looking at 1,100, 1,200 roughly of monthly dividends from Australia there. And these next ones are just forecasted. So until I actually put the hard or solid data in there, that'll actually sort of shift up or down depending on the dividends there. So yeah, so that concludes the video and all the dividends SPHD pays me, and just a little bit of some dividend data there to finish out the video. But if you like the content, make sure you subscribe and hit the thumbs up. It really helps out the channel, and I'll catch us next time.